No, no, ich habe an mich nur gerade gefreut. Immer wenn einer kommt, macht's Ding Dong. Fand ich einfach einen schönen Satz.
Yeah. So we cannot switch off the ding dong. Yeah. So that's unfortunate. But I'm at the airport. That's the reason why I have not the perfect flight. So I missed my flight. It was too early. I overslept a little bit, but I'm here. So I'm very happy. So I think there will other people join. Um, and today we talking about Microsoft Copilot, not about AI, right? So that AI is a different thing. So not it's not different, but the Copilot, the AI assistant you have in Windows and in Windows off and Office. Yeah, so I'm very keen to hear how it works because I'm using that already. But just starting from ChatGPT, you just chat. That's what I'm doing now. I learned somehow how to do Microsoft Word things, but that's it. Yeah, so I don't know how to use it. That's the reason why I'm very very happy that Remsey is here today. So and Remsey will I think enlighten us a little bit maybe about the future because I heard Microsoft has integrated AI or Copilot in the whole system. I don't know if this is possible already. I think it's the new Windows, right?
Um, I will enlighten you and everybody.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
So before I hand over, just small things like always. It would be great if you can switch off your microphone. Otherwise, Dilian will switch it off. So, and if you don't know how to switch it on, then write in the chat. I want to ask something, so you can put it in the chat. Raise your hand. We will see you. Wave, and then Lindsay will answer in between or at the end. Yeah. So Ramsey, I hand over to you now. Very happy you are
Awesome.
here.
Thank you, Frank. Thank you. Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to this session. My name is Remsey Mailjard. I'm an IT trainer and developer specialized in Microsoft 365. I do consultancy and I build also application as a developer using AI technologies. I also build chatbots, and Copilot is an example of a chatbot, which I'm going to be telling you guys more about. I'm really keen on this topic because it's really can change the way that you work. For anybody that already works with ChatGPT, right? A lot of people are familiar with ChatGPT by now. You will notice that Copilot can also be definitely an addition to your day-to-day work. So I hope to give you today a few demos on what's possible in Microsoft 365 Copilot. And if you have questions, feel free to ask questions, right? As stated before, you can put your hands up or you can just write down the question in the chat. And let's start off with what is Microsoft 365 and Copilot. So Copilot is an AI assistant, artificial intelligence. What is artificial intelligence? It is a computer that mimics AI and mimics human interactions. It has been trained on large data sets of text, which gives us the capability of understanding natural language, which is quite unique because if you look previously to chatbots, when you went on a certain website, for example, where you might buy some type of product, I think most of you are familiar with a chatbot sometimes popping up, right, in the right down corner. And when you ask that question, it was never able to answer your question. You will typically just get a message saying, contact us to, this is the phone number, because it didn't understand you. Well, after 2022, that all changed with ChatGPT. ChatGPT was the first chatbot that was really integrating artificial intelligence, and now it was able to understand your questions. But a Copilot is one step beyond, and it is there to help you in the day-to-day work, and it's going to assist you to do your work. It's still a co-pilot. I always tell them that you still are the captain of the airplane, for example, right? You still have to ask the right question. You still have to give guidance, but a co-pilot can actually help you do your day-to-day jobs. And I hope to give you guys some more insights on the capabilities of Copilot. So Copilot is actually called Microsoft Copilot, and we have two versions, a free version and a paid version. The free version can actually be called just by going to the website, Microsoft Copilot or copilot.microsoft.com. And a couple of things that is important to notice. ChatGPT has been built by OpenAI. OpenAI is the company behind the chat models. And when we talk about chatbots and the large language models, we talk about GPT. Copilot is making use of the natural language model from OpenAI. And Microsoft actually collaborated with OpenAI in order to integrate this into applications like Office. I want to start off with just going to the free version of Copilot. Let me share my screen, as in my other part of the screen. All right, I head over to copilot.microsoft.com.
Teachers, meet Copilot, your brand new teaching assistant. Copilot is a quick and easy way to get help writing content, brainstorming lesson plans.
Let's see. All right, just checking. Everybody can see my screen? All right. I'm actually on the free version of copilot.microsoft.com, which you all now already have access to. And one big difference with a ChatGPT, which is also a very intelligent chatbot that understands natural language, is that the data is commercial protected. That means whatever data that you enter in will never be used to train the underlying model. And that's a big difference between Copilot and ChatGPT, which are both chatbots. But when you do it in a ChatGPT, it can actually be used to train the underlying model. So if you're going to make an invoice or do a new prospect like on a food concept, whatever, you might train the underlying model. And that means that other people can actually learn from what you are putting in. And with commercial data, with your enterprise data, you want to keep it safe. And Copilot has been built to make the data safe. So one of the first things, you can actually log in using your Microsoft 365 credentials. And once you see protected, the most important thing is that your data is also protected. And when we are on this website, we can ask any topic on anything. And I want to show you that with a simple example. For example, you can ask, show me create an two-paragraph letter on the benefits of intermediate fasting. You can use it as a resource tool, right? And this is just a normal question, but if you compare it to Google, right, you would have to go to different websites to collect the data. This is actually getting all the data immediately, right, just by asking a question. But I also want to show you that this is an intelligent chatbot. And because this is just getting information from a certain website. One of the benefits with Copilot, you see exactly also where it's referencing it to, right? You see from which website it is getting the information from, so you can actually check if the information is correct. In this Copilot website, you can have 30 interactions, right? We see 1 out of 30 interactions. We can go deeper. So, for example, explain more easier what AGE means. Tell me as if I'm 10 years old. So now I'm going to ask it to give me an answer in a certain level, And you see it. Imagine human growth hormone as a superhero inside your body. It's like the boss of growth and repair system. And when you sleep, AGA gets busy fixing things. And this is not something that, what you can do on websites, right? This is a large language model that interprets it and tries to explain it in a more easier way. But now you see that we have 20 of 30 interactions, but we can go deeper. And I also want to show the creativity side of Copilot. I'm actually going to restart the website just by going, clicking on the refresh button. This will start a new conversation. And here I have some creative, more balanced, or more precise answers. We can set up a conversation style. But now I'm going to choose the more creative one. And let's say you want to write something. This can be anything. I'm going to start with just a personal example. Write me an anniversary card. And the beauty of Copilot is that you don't have to be precise. As in, if you make grammar mistakes, it still works. For my wife. And then the team includes cooking, swimming, and should all be in the team of playing chess. And this is pretty weird, what I'm asking, right? Because typically, if you just Google those things, you might find some anniversary tracks. But I want to show you that it's an intelligent chatbot, and why it's really, it can combine all of this. And this is, of course, just a personal thing. And this has been trained on giving answers. But this has probably never been written before. This is new text. Some of the data he gets from the internet, but this is really new, right? It's creating it all new. And if you look closely to what it's saying, it probably has all details in it. So in the kitchen, we mix and stir, then some flavors. So it's quite creative in that sense. And still, you're the queen to my king. It's also making the references to chess, right? So as you can see, it's pretty intelligent. And the reason why it's intelligent is because he has knowledge on different concepts, like chess, or food, or anything else, or even business related. Copilot can also search the internet. So I'll ask it, be as detailed as possible. You can even ask it to find information on you, and it will tell you whatever information it can find, and it will search the whole web in less than 30 seconds. It will find whatever information it actually finds on you. Whether the information is correct, that you always have to check that, right? But it can be a fun exercise to try it out for yourself. Have you ever Googled yourself? Well, try and ask it for yourself. Be very specific, right? And he got the information correctly about me, at least. And you can see the references where he got all the information from, right? You can always check those resources. But this is what it can do. It can be also a resource tool. It can be any topic. To make this more interesting, write down in the chat what your current role is. What is your current job, right? And we're going to use that for our next example. So if you can, just write down in the chat what is your current role at which company. And then I'm going to show you an example of how you could use it. But while we are doing this, so you know that we can get some information on, you can search things online. And then if if you got some information that you like, you can either also export it. So here there's an option to export it into Word, PDF, or text. Or if you want, you can also do it if you ask for a table of information, you can actually also export it into Excel. But it's only there if you are asking for a table, right? This is all free in Copilot, but it can answer any question that you have. And it can also be very precise depending on which conversation style you choose. I'm choosing more creative, more balanced, or more precise. If I choose more creative, it will try to make up things. If I do more precise, it will typically find more information using what you can find on the internet. All right, thanks, Raoul. So I'm going to use your example to show you how you can actually benefit using Copilot in your day-to-day work. If others want to share their current role, that's also very helpful. So how can I use Copilot in my day-to-day work as a food service design consultant? Give me clear examples and use cases. Who knows it better than Copilot himself, right? Who knows it better? You can actually ask Copilot to give you use cases of where you might want to use it. And I'm going to give you one little secret. How to make an AI assistant better is if it has context. So Raoul, I'm going to ask Copilot to ask us 5 questions that help us better understand how he can support us. So in my day-to-day work, ask me 5 questions to give you more context to answer. And what you will see is that Copilot will ask me, first it will come up with a few things. Here it says, as a food service designer, it can help you create and refine menu descriptions, suggesting food pairs, space planning, layout plans, best practices for kitchen design, equipment selections. And I want to show you later on that how you could actually use this for information also in the other Office applications, right? But this gives you just some day-to-day things that it can actually help you with. And I also asked it to ask me 5 questions to better answer my questions. So what type of food service establishments do you primarily work with? And Raoul, if you want, and others as well, try to answer those 5 questions in the chat. Right? So starting off with what type of food establishments you primarily do in your work. Are there specific challenges you face in your work that you're hoping Copilot can address? Let me also copy this chat, even the question, so you can actually later on, if you want to try this out yourself, you can actually ask this as well. All right, for the first, you say workspace cafeteria. Awesome. So I will just say 1 workspace cafeteria. And are there specific challenges you face in your work that you're hoping Copilot can address? Is there anything that you guys think will be helpful if Copilot could help you with? Data metrics. Yes, I'm going to show you later on some examples using Excel, how Copilot can actually be an assistant in that case. So I'm just going to say data metrics and analyzing a business, right? Do you require assistance with regular compliance or safety standards? Always, I'm just going to provide some fake answers. Always add safety standards. Often interact by mail. And are there any repetitive tasks in your workflow that you feel could be automated? Yes, analyzing data. All right, and you said also Indian building force. All right, let me copy that and add it too. What a lot of people do when they use a chatbot is they have the general idea, right? Just asking some questions, but I'm providing it context. And by giving it context, it will be better equipped to give me good examples of what it can support me with. And it just takes this now into consideration, right? For example, let's use the safety standards compliance. I'm going to show you later on how Copilot can actually help us build such a, maybe a document around it, or even a PowerPoint around it. So here it says safety standards. I can help you stay up to date, and notice that it will actually find the information on the internet on it. So I can help you stay updated with the latest safety standards. I'm actually going to copy this. And for our first Copilot AI assistant integration, I'm going to show Word. I'm going to open up Word. Copilot is integrated also in the Office application. That means that you will have a chatbot in Word and Office, just like we are. So here. And I must say that I now think about it, that my Copilot has just been changed into Dutch. So I have to see if it will answer it in Dutch, or if it will answer it in English. You have to set that up, and my whole Microsoft 365 environment is just in Dutch, but it can do it in any language as of now. So what I will just do, I'm actually in Word, and notice that here I have this Copilot. You can ignore the other ones, but this is the Microsoft Copilot integration. And here I can ask it, help me as an AI assistant, describe what I want to achieve. When I click in it, I also see on the right side, the sidebars popping up. That's the same chatbot that we had before, but I will just ask it, write me safety standard compliance based on the Indian Building Code 4. So I will ask ChatGPT to help me out. And we'll start with creating a concept. And look at this. It's there inside of Office to help you with some basic documentation. And Roel, I don't know if it's correct. I think you're an expert on it, so you would be better equipped to check it. But it gives you a first draft, right? It's helping you as an assistant to do the first draft. And if you are now after it like this, and you think like, I like it, but so I'm going to save it, but I want to change it a bit. For example, I would just say here, cool, it's accurate, cool, to an extent. Now I'll just say add more real world examples. And I'll ask it to generate. And this is information how you would also just Google it, right? But as an AI assistant, it's actually helping you doing it immediately inside of your Word documents, which is quite cool, right? And it's there as an assistant to help you out with the basic things as a starter. Now let's go, and you are looking at this and you think, all right, I need something else. For example, I need to Google something and get that information inside of my Word document. I'm going to open up I'm back in my browser, right? And I'm purposely just go to this website that was just LinkedIn. And later on, I'm going to also show you some examples of how data analysis can actually work with Excel. But I want to show you some other features what Copilot can actually do. I'm on this website, and there are so many regulations, right? And then I find this regulation here, like a PDF. I'm going to open this up. And I've never seen this before. I'm just doing it as we are speaking. And here in the right top corner, I have another time, the Copilot as an assistant. And here I can actually ask it questions about this document built into Edge. This only works in Microsoft Edge, right? Edge, the Microsoft Edge is for Microsoft, and it has Copilot built in. And I can actually ask it, read this document. And this is a 7-page document. Give me a summary in 4 lines. So what this will do, the AI assistant will read your document, and it will just give a summarization of the document. So regulation introduction, notification about the food safety standards. And yeah, you have to check it always if it's correct, but I have a lot of experience with it, and it's very accurate, right? On it. And we can you can even ask more questions on it. What is the admixtures? What does this document say about? But the nice thing is Copilot can actually help you read big documents and ask any question that you might have over this document, right? So it can actually help you also for research purposes, which is pretty cool. But we can go a step further. What I'll now do, I'll actually open up Excel and show you how Copilot is also integrated not only in Word, not only in your browser, but also in Excel, and what nice things that it can do. I'll actually have to open up an example file. So Copilot is integrated in all the Office applications, in Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and Excel has quite a cool feature. This is some random data set of selling e-bikes, right? So these are e-bikes, and it just some general data. And if you are a data analyst, you want to get some more information on it, you have to write down all these types of formulas, right? I'm going to show you how Copilot can actually help you analyze the data and can do some cool things with it. The first thing that you do want to technically do is make this a table. I actually press Ctrl-T to make it a table into Excel. That is a requirement, and I will just call it selling data. But of course, this can also be food products, right? This is just an example. So this is selling data. And when you are created this table name, so I'll go back to the start, and here on the right side, I have Copilot. Notice that I have here quantity on hand and year-to-date quantity sold. Let's ask Copilot to analyze the data. It gives me a recommendation. Do you want to auto save it? So it actually helps me also better use the Microsoft products. It takes a minute to save it, but I have to click this away in order to make it visible. So now I have Copilot. It's busy loading. And notice what we have here. We can create and add formulas to the columns. I can edit, highlight, I can sort and filter. And I even can ask it to analyze the data. So I would just say, analyze, look at the data, analyze the product sold. So typically, you're probably going to make pivot tables and whatsoever. I'm going to show you that Copilot can actually do all of this for you. So it will now analyze the data and it understands the questions. Look what I have right now. It starts off with creating the sum of quantity sold, like it's by model. So there are certain models of the e-bikes, and I can actually add this to building a dashboard. So let me add this to a new sheet. So it's actually inserting it. Notice that it's created like a normal pivot table, and it even correctly made this this graph, which is pretty cool, right? We can go further. I go back to the sheet. So there's a question: compared to ChatGPT 4, is Copilot better? Does it use the newest information or is it limited? And of course, this is integrated in Office 365. And what are other advantages to ChatGPT 4.0? And can't I use Google with it or have to use always Bing? So Copilot is working with the latest model of ChatGPT 4. So they use the same underlying language model, right? So in comparisons with the answering the questions, they give you the same answers. What's different with the Copilot that it also looks on the internet. And yes, it's a Microsoft product, so they only use Bing. So they don't give you the option to Google things. It's only using Bing as their search results, which is unfortunately right, but that's how the product is. So it will just always search Bing. But a big benefit of it is that it can search on the internet, while ChatGPT doesn't search on the internet automatically, right? So it can add more, find some more newer information, while ChatGPT is limited to the data set until which time it has actually collected the data, which is not always actual, right? Cool. Now let's show some more examples of what Copilot in Excel can actually do. I go down and I'm going to ask a few questions. If you have a question based on the data set, right, and you think, oh, it would be cool if Excel can help me with that, just write it down in the chat, right? I will just use it as an example. For now, you see the production costs, right, and the current price. So let me ask a question. Add a column to calculate the current price minus actual costs. So I will actually ask Copilot to make some modification. And even if you're not familiar with writing down Excel code, it can come up with a formula. And yes, this is just an easy formula, right? Just current price min production cost. But if you work with more complex formulas, it can actually still do that for you, like VLOOKUPs or indexing and matching, right? So let me insert the column, and it just inserted the column. What's the difference between the paid version and what does it cost? Or is it included in Office 365? So this is a paid version. You actually have 3 versions of it. The free version is just the website, which already has quite cool features, right? So that you can just go to copilot.microsoft.com. If you want to have this integration, like what you see here, you pay. There's a personal account that's $20 a month, like 20 euros a month. But there's also a corporate example, and that will cost like 30 euros a month, but it will integrate with SharePoint and all the data that you have on SharePoint. It can answer any question of any data that you have in Outlook and in SharePoint. So that's the main differences. So 3 versions. $20, that's personal, which you can just now purchase. And then you have the integration in Copilot and in the Office applications like Word, PowerPoint, Excel, OneNote, Outlook. So yeah. Let me show you a few more demos and then I'll go into more of the examples. No, it's not integrated with MS Access. So no, that's no, it doesn't have that capability, right? So if you have an MS Access database, you could export it into Excel and still make use of it using Copilot. Let me show you some more examples. And do a deep analyze about the price and production costs. It understands the columns, so I can just ask it in normal languages, and what you will see, it can analyze the data. And as I had before, that it was generating some graphs, I'm expecting it to do this as well. Okay, in this case, that also sometimes happens. It was not able to understand. Can I be more specific? What do I want to see? Okay, what is the total cost? What is the total cost? And it should do the calculation correctly. Look at this, the sum of the production cost. And of course, this is not rocket science, how you do this calculation, but it can actually help you, and also with more complex things. I want to show you now another example using PowerPoint, right? This is just to demo some of the features that we have. So you can see it can help you analyze some data. It can go, oh, you see, it did. First, that's interesting. Even though it gave me the message that it wasn't able to do an analyze, but look what it just did. It created a full dashboard with all relevant data sets. Even though I got the message that it was not working, it somehow still did it. So as you can see, it is pretty good at analyzing your data. Let's go to PowerPoint and see how it can actually help you there. I'm going to start a new empty presentation. And I will actually ask Copilot to generate. And do you remember we had that Word document? There's also, when you have the integration with Office, or if you have the work Copilot licenses, it can actually read this Word document and then make a presentation on it immediately. I want to go and now just ask it in PowerPoint, generate a presentation on this topic. And what it will do, it will hopefully generate a PowerPoint presentation. And this will give me a first starting point instead of having to start all from scratch. So it takes a few minutes to load. Typically 30 to 45 seconds is my experience. And look at this. It generated a PowerPoint presentation. Let's just see what it come up with. And typically, I would say it's not 100% perfect, but it was the information. It does give you a good starting point. But if you have any, can you define the number of slides? Yes, you have the option to define the number of slides, but it went pretty well. And it even generated some images. And if you don't like it, so for example, if you don't like the design, please change the design of this slide. I did this before in a presentation at Microsoft, and then it did something really funny with the slide. And so it's always okay. Now it tells me that it's not able to do it this time. But it can actually, sometimes when you ask the question, it also depends on which language you are using. This is just newly in Dutch. So it could be that it just doesn't understand because I asked this in English. I actually have to also ask it in Dutch if you are having the language in Dutch. It could be that that's the reason. But you can ask it to change your design, right? So it can help you build PowerPoint presentations or add some more text. Add more text to the slide. I'll try it in, I wouldn't recommend adding more slides, text to a slide, right? Because this is already pretty cramped if you look at it from a presentation purposes, but just to show you what's possible, add more. I'm going to write it in Dutch. It says add more text. I'm asking it to create bullet points so that it doesn't have too much text. So it will check it and hopefully adjust it. Wow. This is the pain of doing a demos. It always happens when you want to showcase something. Anyway, it tells you it cannot do it. But my experience is that it can do it. But there's also a Copilot lab that can ask you what type of prompts that you can ask. So there's a lot of options in here for that help you what type of prompts you can actually ask. So you see now Word, you see now Excel, you see now PowerPoint. And unfortunately, it didn't do everything correctly, but it was able to create a presentation. And with the business version, you can actually reference to a certain Word document and create a PowerPoint based on that Word document, right? So it can actually use the data that you use on a day-to-day basis. I want to show you some other cool things with how you can use Copilot. Let me show you one example for mail. So in Outlook. A moment, I'm grabbing the see until it's visible. And for this, I'm just going to play a video demo, but I will do the voiceover. So look, I'm in Outlook right now, and I'm selecting an email. And what I could ask it catch up with Copilot, and it will actually summarize all my emails. And it can actually also give a reply to an email based on the content. So it will give you a suggestion how to reply it, right? A first draft. For example, I'll ask it, in this example, the person asks, Maya and LTS discussing the declining sales. So, and the team is looking for suggestions and recommendations to move forward, right? That is what's in the email. Now I can ask Copilot to help me answer that question. I give it a prompt like how to best answer the question. In this case, I wanted model shows drop reusable containers, recommend offering 10% discount, includes projected sales from Q1 performance. And notice this, it's actually referencing an Excel sheet in this case. So I'm going to ask Copilot to give an answer to the email based on the data of an Excel sheet. You see, the Q1 performance. And based on that, right, just like you've learned that Excel can actually analyze, or Copilot can actually analyze your Excel data. It answers the email perfectly with the name, and there's some, and also explains the decline and what it would recommend based on the message that you're saying. And if you want, you can also change the text length, right? Just like you want to ask how many slides, I can make it shorter, I can make it longer. And this is now then built into Outlook, answering questions. Pretty cool, right?
This is cool, yes. So it all works with the paid version, or you cannot use the Edge if you just work in web. So in Edge, in Outlook, or in Excel, so you can also use the Copilot for now.
Well, if you would go to Outlook and then to Edge, and then here, it doesn't have the capability of reading your mail just as but it does have an option here, and this is pretty cool. A lot of people that have Copilot don't even know that you have a way to it can
create.
Yeah, it can create emails here. Write me a 3-paragraph email with best food. Food branches, make it professional, and then it will generate a concept. Mm-hmm. And of course, this can actually just, so it will just generate some type of mail. Okay, this is, it will look at your current location. You see, it could do it, but it's not the same integration as in having it with the paid version, and then it would be just inside of Outlook.
So you have to buy this personal one. It's €20. That's just for the Office version, right?
Yes, correct.
So for your own one, and the professional one that integrates the SharePoint and everything you're sharing and doing.
Yeah.
There, so that's per computer, right? Or per user.
Per user. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's even if you have a Microsoft 365 subscription, this is always goes above it. Right. So this is an addition to it.
That's very nice. So, but there was this, actually, I just have 9 minutes left or 8. So if somebody has a question, so jump in and ask. In the meantime, I will ask one question. So there's a new Windows system for computer. So that said, this has the own integrated Copilot.
Yes.
For your computer, right?
Yes.
What is this? Is it out already, or?
Okay. What does that mean? It means that you will have a button on the it's a new version of the Surface, Windows Microsoft Surface laptops, and it has a button that has Copilot integrated. However, I would say it doesn't add much benefit other than that it just has the button to load the Copilot. It's going to be added to Windows 11 to all the users. It will be part of it. So, and yes, Roberto, also for OneDrive, it will also look at your OneDrive to answer any question.
Mm-hmm.
I want to show.
Teams. So
let me show you one of the coolest things I think of Copilot is that can be beneficial for any user, any business. If you do meetings, and if you're not using Zoom, but if you're going to use Teams and use the Microsoft Copilot, it can actually summarize the meetings, create meeting notes. I actually have a short video on it. So what this will do, when I am asked to attend a meeting, let's say this meeting, I can actually ask Copilot to join it. So when I click on follow, it will actually, the AI assistant will just look at the meeting. And at the end, it will give me a summary of what was discussed during the meeting. So if you no longer want to follow the meeting, you will just get a perfectly sample with all the notes, all the tasks that has been mentioned with the correct persons that it was assigned to. So no longer you have to create your notes on your own. You can just ask Copilot to do it. And you can even ask questions on the meeting. What other customers were discussed and what factors? And it will actually give you a summary of what was discussed during the meeting, which is awesome, right?
So then we have to switch to Teams then from Zoom. Well, let's see.
Yeah. At least, right? This is just showcasing that this is technically possible if you use Copilot and if you use Teams, right? But it's still beneficial even if you don't use Copilot. Can Copilot write minutes of a meeting using a template? Yes, it can. It actually has it already built in to a degree. So here on the left side, for example, even though you can see it on the video, there's actually, you can also ask it minute by minute to generate a meeting template. Yes, what was discussed. Technically, it can do that. Here it says transcript. So you get a full transcript of everything that has been discussed, or you can do it in a summary. And the nice thing is, if you are actively in a meeting like this one, and you want a Copilot to assist you answering questions, is like instead of having to Google it, you can just ask Copilot. Here, let's say you join it 10 minutes later, you would just say, recap this meeting so far, and it will exactly summarize it, what was discussed. But also, you can just ask general questions that goes in deeper on the conversation that has been discussed. Are there any?
So the others see then that your assistant joins or not?
Yeah. It's always visible, as in that you have to acknowledge it, that Copilot is listening with you, right? But you have to, it's compliant, as in that everybody has to agree on it if you do it. There's also a silent mode, but it depends on how IT set it up.
Mm-hmm. But if everybody joins with assistant, then the assistant's talking to each other?
That would be good. That would be cool. No, it doesn't do the talking for you.
So it's just listening. So
it's just listening, right? And you can just ask some questions, things that you would normally Google. It can actually answer it right away, and it has access to all your Office documents at the same time. So if somebody asked in the meeting, what was the sales numbers of last month, you'll actually ask Copilot, what was the sales numbers of last month, and you point it to the Excel sheet and you have an answer within 20 seconds instead of having to open it. Right?
Yeah. So searching for you and analyzing for you, and that's all the paid version.
Yes. All right. I think we are, it's all, unfortunately, all in the paid version. But I still think you can already benefit from Copilot just by starting, using it. Start with the free version and see how it can benefit you there. I think we only have 3 more minutes.
So let's have a look in the chat. So if there's something open,
Yeah, can Copilot search for you on OneDrive for some products like you're searching for POS terminal? Yes, it can do that for you as well, right? So it can actually search a whole OneDrive for product information that you might have stored there and answer it of the information that's inside of the data in OneDrive. So yes, it can do that.
Is it also possible to have few Excel sheets in different files and then analyzing 3 different tables and different?
So it can analyze data, tables. It's not as good as to do the comparison as of yet, but you can do it in step by step, right? You can ask it first to the first table, analyze it, then the second table, and then ask it to.
Okay. So you have to go
a little bit step by step. How do you protect data security? Well, that's a whole different topic on how you can do it, but there's something called Purview in Microsoft 365, which you have full control over. The data will never leave your own Office environment, right? So it will never be sent to Microsoft, as in that they can read it or something, or that it goes to OpenAI. It's all commercially protected That means it stays in your organization, and that's not the case with ChatGPT. So that's a real benefit. ChatGPT can only access information that's few years old. It can access Copilot real-time, up-to-date information. Yes. It will look it on the internet, so it has real-time information on Bing. Yes.
So that's great.
Remsey, there was also a question about taking pictures. It was asked before the session. Do you know? It was as Copilot can take pictures of your PC every second. How can you turn it off?
So that's Microsoft Recall. What is Microsoft Recall? We can actually, it's a product that is about to be released by Copilot, but it will make pictures of your screen as screenshots, which is not part of Copilot as we are speaking, right? It's a different product, something that you need to install. A lot of questions are around security on that department, and it's still not 100% clear. But that's not part of Copilot. Microsoft Recall is a different software that we need to install. In Copilot, generate pictures? Yes. Create a cat that can surf. So yes, and this will use, hold on. I have to say, create an image. Create an image of a cat can surf. You could just go into, also ask it to generate images. There's so much more that I definitely want to show you, but I hope this gives you a little bit of an introduction of what is technically possible with Copilot. I give a lot of trainings on it, live and online trainings on it, some for 3 hours, some for a whole day, based on your current job, how to best make use of it. And also if you want to use it for building nice, fun pictures. Can it design a commercial kitchen? It probably won't be that good if you're going to ask it for like a visual image, right? But it can do parts because it is, it's more like a nice gimmick thing. But you can create cool logos with it, which can also be helpful. Yeah. All right, to respect everybody's time.
Yeah, so you put in the chat your LinkedIn profile so everybody can connect, I guess.
Yeah, so I will share it one more time. So it's the latest thing. Yeah, you can connect with me on LinkedIn. I often share knowledge on the best practice in Microsoft 365, also on Copilot. I do a lot of workshops also for Microsoft on this topic, the designers of this thing. There's a lot that it can do to help you assist in your day-to-day work.
Yes, and everybody can book you for deeper lessons, trainings, and integration. So yeah, that would be great. Yeah, so
for
everybody, feel free to contact Remsey. Remsey, thank you very, very much. So we 2 minutes over time, but there's so much more we can see, I guess. I'm sure.
There's even more.
And and then nobody should be afraid of Copilot, right?
No. It's there to stay.
It's there to stay. Yeah, it's too late to avoid it. Yeah. So I tried many times to use any chatbots to design kitchen. Never worked. Yeah. So, but you can do very cool graphics and logos. That's for sure. So we use that for our magazine in Germany, Austria. Once creating very nice pictures. You can see it in different magazines from food industry. So they're also using that now. So it's here to stay. And the good thing is, if you use it, you see who used that too. Yeah? So you can feel who used a chatbot and not his own words. Yeah. So for instance, FCSI magazine, the greetings I always write since I think 1 year now. It's always ChatGPT and now Copilot. So it helps a lot, I tell you. So my English is not good, but if you read that, it's perfect now. Yeah, so sometimes a little bit too much. I had to write, I'm not a native speaker, a rephrase. So then he's doing it simple words. Yeah.
Awesome. Well,
thank
thank you all for joining.
Yeah.
I hope to see you maybe in the future. Feel free to connect with me. Last way will be through LinkedIn. Now that's hopefully maybe in the next session.
I am sure we will stay in contact, right, Diljan?
Yeah.
So you have all the contacts. So we will. Thank you very much, Remsey. So hope to see you. That was very good. Of course, 1 hour is too short, but next time we see each other again, everybody can make a longer booking. Hi, Joyce.
Hi, Joyce.
So
Thanks all for